Hello, I'm Lanette Davies with Crusaders for Patients' Rights, and I'm here to represent the medical marijuana community that is against Proposition 19 and give you some information as to why we feel that is the wrong move for the patients in the state of California. In 1996, we were able to get Proposition 215 through. Proposition 215 covers all the citizens in the state of California so that we have access for cannabis. We can have as many plants as what we need. We can have the medicine as long as a doctor recommends it. We are covered. However, it's been a long battle since 1996. We've had to go through court hearings. We've gone through battles through legislation. We've got SB 420 to help give us some guidelines. We went through the Attorney General guidelines to be recognized. We went through the Qualified Patient Association lawsuit that finally settled, recognizing that cities do not have the right to opt out of providing safe access for patients. And we've even, as of September, reduced the fine for an ounce or less to $100 and an infraction. And we also received our first bill that's on the state level that recognizes storefront dispensaries, and that's through AB 2650 Buchanan's bill, which states that a storefront dispensary needs to be 600 feet away from a K through high school. What I wanted to point out is that these are all things that we've done to further this movement. Now we have Proposition 19 comes along. And at first I looked at Proposition 19 thinking, say, this is a pretty good thing. But then I read the bill. And that's where we have our problems, is once you read the bill, there's some real issues that threaten the safety of patients across the state of California and all the hard work that we've done in providing safe access. First, if you take a look at the very last page of the bill, because I'm going to go from the back to the front, because the bill is actually the last couple pages, and then there's the intent, and then there's the purposes section of this bill. When you go to the last page, the first thing they say is this bill may be amended by the state legislature. Why should you give permission for them to make amendments? If this is a bill that you want to have made, the only people that can amend an initiative are the people of California. That's why we won the Kelly decision that you patients can have as much medicine as you want, because the legislature cannot amend it, cannot amend an initiative. So first of all, we've given them the opportunity to step in and make amendments to whatever we place on this bill. The second thing that you come to will be that there are now, I do believe I said that, let's see, an ounce or less is a $100 fine and an infraction, the same as a large parking ticket. Well, that's for anybody, whether you're over 21 or under 21. Let's just go ahead and pass Prop 19 and make it criminal for those that are under 21. And also give prison terms and jail terms for those that share cannabis and you're under 21. That doesn't sound like a legalization bill to me. So those are the first two things that I noticed on there. So let's go back another page on this. Seizure. Let's see, an effect of act definitions. Well, we don't have too much in that. And we're not going to get into the seizure part. But let's go into section 11302, imposition and collection of taxes and fees. This also includes private parties. Nowhere in here does it say anything that private parties are exempt from taxation on this. It says imposition of collection of taxes and fees. Any ordinance, regulation, or other act adopted pursuant to section 113 can be found appropriate to have general, specialized, or excess tax. Where do we see this happening? This would be happening in Rancho Cordova. Rancho Cordova right now has told our patients that they have to grow in a 5x5 area thanks to Proposition 19. So yes, 215 gave you all the plants that you could have, but nowhere in there does it say the size of land. Now we actually have cities that are making land determinations, land use issues. So we've got Rancho Cordova who says our patients could grow in a 5x5 area, but they also want to charge them $600 per square foot that they grow their own medicine in their own backyard. Right now, that has to go to a ballot because there can be no tax placed on a California citizen that does not have the citizen's permission. We get the right to vote on that. So we can say no. However, Prop 19, we're going to turn that over to the government, who any ordinance, regulation, or act adopted pursuant to Section 11301 may include imposition of appropriate general, special, and excise, transfer or taxation taxes, transaction taxes, benefit assessments, or fees. So they don't have to ask our permission. You just gave them permission to go ahead and tax you whatever you grow in your own backyard by saying yes to Proposition 19. Let's go one more section here. This is one of my favorites, when you get into commercial regulations and controls. Right now, California has 500 plus cities and counties in the state of California. The state Proposition 215 covers, remember, the citizens of the entire state of California, all of you. Proposition 19 wants to take the state law and make it a county and regulatory law to the local governments by allowing each local government the right to place bans or accept or tax and regulate. Notwithstanding any provision of state law or local law, a local government may adopt ordinances, regulations, or other acts having the force of law to control. That's bans, guys. That means that you can lose your safe access in your community. Right now, we have been fighting for every single community to be able to have safe access. Right now, there's only 42 or 44 cities and counties that actually have ordinances and regulations. We just passed, remember, September 30th of this year, the first bill acknowledging storefront collectives. Now we're going to hand this tool over to those principalities, over to those local governments to place unlimited taxation and bans and expect them to do the right thing. If only 40-some cities and counties have opened up for patients, do you think they're going to open up for recreational? So all the people that think they're voting because they're going to be legal, and if you're under 21, you just voted yourself out because you're legal, but you won't be after this, then what have you done? What have you managed to do to yourself? You've managed to allow the government to tax you unlimited. You've allowed complete control over the land use issue, and we the people have given them that right. Therefore, this definitely affects patients. There's no way around it. Well, let's see here. How about being in the same space with a minor? Right now, our sick patients can smoke in their own households. They can still smoke their cannabis in their household. If 19 passes, what it actually has in there is that you cannot smoke in the same space as a minor. Space as a minor. Is that the house? Is that the room? Is that the property line? You're going to leave it up to CPS to make that determination for you. Does that affect patients? Yes, that affects patients who are also sick and using this as a medication. Because this law, nowhere in 215, does it say that you can or can't smoke. So it's not covered under 215. It will be covered under Proposition 19. If this law was not intended to affect the patients of the state of California and only used for recreational use, then under intent not to affect our laws, 11362.5 and 11362.7, should have been listed. It was left off. If you read on page 3 of the law, it goes into, this act is not intended to affect the application or enforcement of the following state laws. It's got in the Safety Code 11357 for possession on school grounds, 11361 relating to minors, 11379 relating to chemical production, 11532 relating to loitering and committing a crime. Acts not. You even have vehicle code in here. Why didn't they say it's not intended to affect Proposition 215 patients, 11362.5 and 11362.7? It's silent. It's not listed. So they know it's going to affect our patients. it's important that people at least read these laws and make your determination after you read it. You need to look at it. You need to see it. You can either get a copy of this law off of our website, which is www.crusadersforpatientsrights.org, or go to the California Secretary of State's office. Get a copy of this directly from their office. It says Qualified Ballot Initiatives, and it'll have Proposition 19. Click right on it, pull your own copy, take a look at this. This is not good. This is going to hurt us by far more than it's going to give anybody anything. People that actually are going to benefit from this is commercial grows. Let's see, do we want to have commercial grows? Commercial grows aren't bad, by the way. I'm not against commercial grows. But what I would be against is to what Oakland has done. Oakland has said, we're going to have so many grows, but we're going to have $5,000 to apply, $211,000 a year if you qualify. You need $2 million in assets. That takes most of our regular California citizens right out of the ballpark. Now, what they've actually done also is, if you take a look on the CalNormal site, there's a copy of the actual ordinance, and there's also a copy of the newspaper article, and it specifically states in there, well, we're going to wait until January when we actually produce these ordinances or these permits for these people, and then we're going to go ahead and start our crackdown on the illegal growers. Does that mean you? This is a really bad thing. I mean, you guys really have to take a look at it. You have the right now to grow your own medication. Don't give it up because of the greed of Oaksterdam. Don't do it. As a matter of fact, I'd like to show you what the fearless leader of Oaksterdam has to say in a debate when he was supposed to speak about Proposition 19.
We're all for legalization here, right? We're all for fucking legalization! So fuck these guys who want to keep fucking up out of Mexico. 30,000 people are dead. We got people getting shot and killed. We gotta move to legalization. It's that simple. This is the best we can do right now.
Our first speaker for the opposition is Mr. George Lowell. George is the president of the California Cannabis Association, a trade organization dedicated to
an amount that's reasonably related to their personal medical use. It's the same standard. So if you're saying you're against Prop 19, you're saying patients should not have the same rights that they have right now. If you're saying you're against Prop 19, you're saying people should still have to face prison and tickets for sharing marijuana with each other. If you're against Prop 19, you're saying cities should not be allowed to allow sales of marijuana. They should be stuck with cultivation by collectors in some kind of communistic little organizational setup. That's fine. We don't change any of that. We allow the cities to go much farther because Prop 19 kicks ass over Prop 215. It's taken us 38 years to get adult legalization on the ballot again. It was on 1972 and it was numbered Prop 19 and it lost.
And now I feel okay. Give me such inspiration to look at things another way. You help me relax at the end of my day. So if you feel like I feel, then let me hear you say, pass the marijuana, give your thanks and praise today. Pass the marijuana any old kind of way. Pass the marijuana, give your thanks and praise today. Pass the marijuana any old kind of way. I like it when you roll it up real nice, but Lord, I hate the price. I like it in a boot up on about 2 feet long. Don't have to hit it twice and you still feel nice. Pass the marijuana.